Namaste. Welcome. I am Magick La Croix, and this is just going to be a short little summary of the movie Candyman and things that I saw in it. So, for those of you who do not know, this is a modern retelling of the 1992 classic. If I'm not mistaken, it was 1992. And they made like two sequels, I think. Um, there's still grown men out here who will not say the name Candyman 5 times in there. That's how terrifying of a character that Tony Todd portrayed in Candyman. It was a very enjoyable, you know, series, in my opinion. Um, so when I saw that Jordan Peele was going to do a remake, so to speak, a retelling, I was excited for it because so far he has not disappointed. He has done Get Out, he has done Us, he has done Lovecraft Country. And I expected this to be no different, but I expected it to be something of a remake. That's what I thought. Okay. But when I saw it, don't get me wrong, the movie's good. I get it. The movie's good. It is Jordan Peele's style. As a matter of fact, I think this man is a genius and he should stick with the horror genre. You know? But yeah. This wasn't a remake. It wasn't a remake. It was more of a continuation, so to speak. Continuation. I would say. Remind you, when I do a review, it's my own opinion. Okay? Alright, so it's it's more of a a continuation. My apologies. A continuation. All right. So um, where do I begin with this one? Okay. So the guy, I forget how to say his name, but Yada or something. I forget what his name is, but let me say this first and foremost: is that Jordan Peele is a genius in a way that he uses black plight and black suffering as horror. You know what I'm saying? So he uses melanated people suffering and the things that they go through with Europeans as suffering, as horror, and rightfully so. Okay, now there could be some melanated people out there who are like, but we already know this. But yeah, the way he does it though, you see what I'm saying? It's the way he does it, the way he presents itself. Alright, so Candyman. If you haven't seen it, see this movie. Some of I'm gonna say all of it scary. It's a scary movie. Okay. Um, my wife had to watch something funny afterwards. It usually is the case with her, but it's okay. So the guy who's telling the story in the laundromat. Um, well, first of all, if you know the original story, it was a white. Um, I don't forget what her occupation is, but she wants to go into the projects and learn about the urban legend Candyman. Okay, Cabrini Green's projects. So in this retelling of this story, it is a young melanated man who's visiting the projects because he lives in a fancy apartment. And so the thing that's mentioned very bluntly, there's nothing subtle about it, is gentrification. Okay? Because Cabrini Greens was a projects, squalid living conditions and everything. And of course, they tore them down, they demolished the projects, made condos out of them. This is how they do in just about every fucking city. So we know this though. We know about gentrification. So this is why he adds it into the movie, right? But he just says it in a way. It's bluntly said by the character. Um, I don't forgot his name already. I think his name is Anthony or something like that. Yeah, I think his name is Anthony. He says that they say blunt things like they love what we make, but not us. I mean, for one thing, we still melanated people still begging for acceptance. Let me just put it that way. But I'm not going to go off into that subject. I want to review this movie, okay? And you know, like I said, it's black plight and suffering put into a horror genre. Okay. All right. So, couple things here. This movie is evoking the spirit of Breonna Taylor. Door pause. Yes, I did say that. Breonna Taylor. Google that if you don't know that story. Okay. So why would they do that though? You know what I mean? What was the purpose of that? I've often said that Hollywood is the biggest spellcaster there is. They cast spells through their movies. This movie is not an exception. All right, but just say her name. You remember that? That was the mantra going around when Breonna Taylor got killed. Okay, that was the mantra. Say her name. This is the mantra in this movie. Say his name. Okay. I know. At first glance, it seems like a reach, but bear with me. Um, his girlfriend's name is Brianna. Her brother name is Troy. So Brianna T. I mean, okay, that's a little bit of a stretch, maybe. But I thought that if his name was Taylor, it would have been very obvious. This is what they were doing. But why would they do this? You know what I mean? Exactly what do they get out of doing that? Evoking that spirit, evoking that getting emotional. This is what they do all the time with making black plight and suffering horror. Okay? Again, Jordan Peele did this with Lovecraft Country. Half of that was about Jim Crow racism. You know what I mean? So this movie, and even in one point in the movie, they said my name. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you know the story of Candyman, it's about what a lynch mob did to him. Sawing off his arm, his hand, I should say, his hands, slathering it with honey, and then putting bees on it. Okay, so you know, his say my name, girlfriend's name is Brianna. You know, um, I just thought that Candyman is invoking justice, because in the movie, in the original movie, he only went after white people. He didn't kill any black people. You know what I mean? Um, but in this one, I think he did kill a black person in a flashback, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? So, um, you know, here again, you don't even see Candyman in the flesh, in the physical flesh. You see him in mirrored reflection. You only see him in the mirror doing his damage. You know, what's that about? Could that be evoking the spirit of Ellison, the Invisible Man? Like I said, take it how you want it. Could be a reach, but this is what I got out of it. You know what I mean? Saying her name, And even close to the end, cops went in, blasted immediately, ain't asked no questions. You know, came in there and shot him up, no questions. You know, then the cop had her in the back of the cop car saying, "This is what you saw. This is what happened." He's telling her, coaching her on what she saw. And of course, it favored them, the cops. So, like I said, it is again, you know, evoking emotions about when we have to deal with cops or pretty much, you know, dealing with them. This is why melanated people hesitate when calling the police. You know, could they be evoking that emotion to continue that fear? Very possible, isn't it? Very possible. You know, and then come to find out that the main character is actually the son, whom the white woman in the original saved from that fire. If you remember the story. So here we go again, the prodigal son returning home. And the old man in the movie also said something I found really interesting. He said that you can kind of make up your own narrative. So there's more than one Candyman, and Candyman is all about justice, right? Candyman is all about justice. So there's more than one. But at the end, you see the original Tony Todd character, and he said, "Tell everyone." What is that about? Tell everyone. So he's fueled by a need for justice. He's fueled by fresh kills. Say his name, evoking the spirit. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a very interesting take on the whole thing. A continuation, not necessarily a sequel, but a continuation. And I think that since I watched this, I am now going to go ahead and um, I'm going to go ahead and binge watch all three of them. Maybe it was something I missed, but this is what I'm getting out of it. Again, um, they use black plight and suffering as a basis for the horror. Which is really, really interesting when you think about it. It's really interesting. Okay, now again, this is not a bad movie, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think Jordan Peele did a wonderful job again, and I think that he is making horror defined by our suffering. I mean, there's an agenda there. You got to think about it. There's an agenda there. Biggest spellcasters, they keep evoking these emotions. What do melanated people think when, you know, they hear stories of being mistreated by police? There's this emotion. There's hate. You know what I'm saying? There's all of this. And, say my name. Say his name. Say his name. You know. And in order to get out of the cop's custody, she said, "I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Just let me see myself." How interesting is that? She says Candyman 5 times, he shows up. So it could be also evoking supernatural powers. I know. All this is a reach, right? But that's my take on it. So, you know, take it or leave it. That's my review on Candyman. It's a good movie. Like I said, it's a good take on the original movies. Jordan Peele, I think, has found his niche when it comes to this. I think he has found his niche, and he is going to continue. He's going to continue getting a melanated audience as long as he keeps doing it this way. Have a look at it. Tell me what you think. My name is Magick La Croix. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.